Hi everybody, welcome. I am going to do a reading today that is a brand new reading that I am going to start doing. This is a reading that I have been doing with Oracle messages each and every morning for myself. And so I was guided to do this for my friends and family and Lightworker community as well. So I am going to be doing this, doing an Oracle outlook for Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends I'll be providing an update for the weekend for Saturdays and Sundays. This particular reading is really meant for people who are coming into their authentic being, which is just about everybody right now on the ascension path. It is very specifically for people who are motivated by catalytic heart awakening situations such as twin flames, twin souls, sacred relationships, partnerships. If you're very motivated by relationships, these readings should be extremely helpful for you, because what they are doing is they are helping us to focus on what we as individuals need to be healing. And it's almost like when we focus on a particular pattern and we are motivated to help that pattern go, that we continue to unpeel the layers that keep us blocked from love. So this reading is going to be called my Oracle Outlook, and this one that I'm doing is for November 19th, which is Monday, through November 23rd, which is Friday. So let us begin. I ask right now for all of the guidance from my entourage to please join me now. I would like to connect with all of the beings, higher selves that are watching this, watching over me, and providing information and guidance that will be of the highest benefit to all people watching. The first thing I'm going to do is I am dealing one card. We're going to choose one card, and this is our healing topic for the coming 5 days. This is the Shamanic Healing Oracle deck. All right. Schiffer, I believe, is the person that's put this out. And this is really the card that's going to provide the theme for what we're going to be working on for the next 5 days. So we're going to go ahead and give these cards a shuffle. I have found for myself personally that Oracle cards are extremely helpful in that they give me a very clear picture of what I'm trying to discover about any given situation. And in this particular situation, we're merely asking, what is it that our soul is working on at this time as a collective, so that we can move to new levels, move to new heights, move to higher perspectives. So let's go ahead and find out what Source would like us to focus on this week as a collective. All right. And I'm just, the first card that flips, and there it is. I tend to, in terms of cards flipping, sometimes I have a lot of luck with that and sometimes I don't. What I find is that in this reading, I like to go with one card. So the first card that I lay eyes on is the card that I go with. Look at this. Union of Souls. Pardon me, it's reunion of souls. All right, look at that. This is the theme for this coming week, is the reunion of souls. Now, what I like to do, well, first of all, is I'm looking at this card, obviously. We've got the feminine and masculine, right? You've got the yin and the yang, the actually I look at it and I see, you know, we've got a lower perspective and a higher perspective. The higher perspective is actually looking up higher, and we have the other perspective a little bit lower, looking up at its counterpart, maybe for some guidance. What I like to do with the healing cards, with the shamanic healing, is I like to go into the book, because this book gives us a really, really clear indication. This is a 7 card, by the way. Gives us a really, really clear indication of what we'll be working on. So I read the card, I read it every single time. There's certain things that jump out at me that will help with the reading, but the rest of the cards that follow are all going to have to do with this topic. There is a school of thought that says before our souls come to earth, we make contracts or agreements with other souls. At one point in time, we appear in each other's lives to assist those involved in learning a lesson, being a catalyst for a needed change, or to share in profound joy. When a person comes into your life to teach you a lesson, no matter the human form, no matter the human experience, this agreement is based in love. The human experience may have been painful and extremely challenging. Acknowledge the depth of love needed for this contract to take place, and then let them go. The experience may have been profoundly moving, but ended abruptly and without reason. Again, be grateful and move on. Cherish the lessons and move forward into your life the way it was meant to be. Alternatively, this card signifies a profound soulmate relationship, whether it is between lovers, friends, or parents and children. Cherish the gifts given. So, this week, Monday through Friday, we're going to be taking a look at people who have come into your life and what lesson that they have to teach you. All right? We are looking at the depth of love that is required from both sides, really, at the higher levels. How much love does someone feel for you that they are willing to come in and be that catalyst for change? Even if it's a negative experience, even if it's a transient experience, and it comes and it goes. We're asked now by Source to take a look at the relationships that have come into our life, all right? And honor that for which they came. So that's a pretty heavy duty thing to take a look at, because all of us who are in any kind of catalytic heart awakening, whether that be someone who is a twin soul, or whether it is someone who is a soulmate, or whether it's someone with whom we have karmic connection, it does not matter. Each and every person comes into our life from a great deal of love in order to teach us through mirroring. So we're going to take a look now at what we must surrender in order for us to accomplish this. So I'm going to give a couple of shuffles here. These are a surrender deck, and you know what? I do not have the box for this deck of cards. This is probably the one that I'm least familiar with up to this point. But boy, this has been such a valuable deck. And I will be sure that in future videos that I go ahead and, you know, make sure. In fact, I'll put the decks in the description because I don't have them. Or this particular one. This particular deck doesn't even come with a book. And it doesn't really need to, because it has to do with what you need to surrender. It's basically written right on the card. That's what I love about oracle readings. I tend to do any kind of reading from an intuitive place anyways, and I think of cards as being permission slips that I can use to kind of weave a pictorial view of what I'm getting. So, yeah. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to ask for just one card, please. One card that is going to give us an idea of what we need to surrender and let go in order to work on these relationships. One just flew. There goes the first one to flip. All right. All right. This card is surrender to the beauty of the natural world. Anyone that knows me is going to know that I am absolutely all about being in nature. And I'll be honest, it's something that I have not done enough lately. I've been very focused, especially through this Venus retrograde. Oh my goodness, it's been very challenging. But and now, of course, we're moving into winter times here in the northern hemisphere in the United States. So we're, you know, it's a little bit harder to get into nature. But what we're going to look at is taking relaxing breaks and spending time in nature. We need to surrender in order for us to understand. Like, for example, when we are dealing with difficult issues with people that we're close to, these relationships that can be somewhat challenging, and where we are trying to move into remembering the union of the souls, we need to replenish ourselves. So whether we replenish ourselves in nature, whether we replenish ourselves with a salt bath, or whether we just take time to close our eyes and reconnect with our natural world around us and the beauty of everything that exists, unless we take time to do that, it really makes for a difficult time in dealing with some of the obstacles that we may have in dealing with our connections. So I look at that card. Now, the next card I'm going to pull is going to be around the purpose. What is the purpose right now for our focus on the reunion of souls, on the coming into, I want to use the word gratitude, a gratitude for the people that have come into our lives in terms of relationships, you know, whether that be someone that is, you know, your current partner, or whether that be someone who is, you know, your twin flame, or whether it's a soulmate that is, you know, a family member. We are moving into Thanksgiving. We're going to be seeing some of our family members. So let's find out what the deeper purpose is this week in particular in dealing with this. I just love these cards. This is Doreen Virtue, by the way. Purpose cards, and her cards are just always so distinctive to me. I really do love her cards. All right, let's go ahead and see what card comes out for us. What is the main benefit? And there it goes, it flipped up. Interesting. This is saying options, and this is actually talking about consider the career possibilities that are open to you. But I want to say, because our reading is more about relationships and our soul family, that this really is a time for us to see what our options are. Okay? We're going to be looking at what are our options. And whenever I think of options, I think of contrast. The different soul relationships that we have show us contrast. And as we see contrast, we start to see what it is that we prefer. And what we prefer is really what our options are. So as we decide our preferences, we are really creating our reality. Because when we say, I prefer this, then you can figure out, well, what is it that's keeping me from experiencing this? And we're talking specifically right now in terms of relationships. So, if you know and you have open options in your connections, and you don't have yourself closed down to this is how it has to be, but you think, what kind of options do I have? It allows you to look at contrast, right? And when you have contrast to look at, you can say, well, I prefer these things, and I see that as a possibility. Why am I not experiencing those things? And then we can go dig in deeper to find out what we're blocking that is keeping us from experiencing that in our very own connections that we already have. All right. Because that is the truth. We literally we literally are creating our reality. And so everything that we believe about ourselves is reflected out in our outside world, so that we can literally make choices as to what we prefer. So in this particular case, if you're not experiencing what you prefer through these, soul connections, which are showing you the different contrasts, the different kinds of relationships, if you're not experiencing what you prefer, you might have to align yourself with the energy of what you do prefer so that you can bring it in. And one of the ways to make yourself, align with higher vibration and energy is to remember to connect with the natural beauty and the nature that is around you. And you know what? It doesn't really matter if it's cold outside. There's a beauty of that as well. So I think it really boils down to taking the time and investing in yourself, that time that you need to reflect on your options and honor the experiences that you're having in your relationships. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at Doreen Virtue's romance angel cards, and we're going to find out how and specifically how this is impacting, your connection. Where is it? Is it hitting the partnership with the twin? Is it hitting the partnership with family? Is it hitting the partnership with soulmate? Let's just take a look at that and see what these cards have to tell us. What I love about this reading is it always gives me a very balanced, clear look at all of the different things that are affected by this focus of attention. And those of you who watched me before, I have a special connection with Katumi. And Katumi, Ascended Master Katumi is all about focus. And when we focus on areas that are really important, it enables us to better move forward on issues. So this has been a really helpful reading for me in particular. And I really hope that it is a good help to you as well. All right, so we're going to ask guidance for, how are our relationships being affected? Where are we at in terms of relationships when it comes to the reunion of souls and what we're focusing on? So we just want the first card that flips, and there it is. Interesting. Religious factors. Well, that's an interesting one. I'm going to have to dive in and get some clarification on this. The card reads, your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual paths. Aha, okay, I am getting information on this. All right, let me just tune into this card right here. Okay. There's a lot of factors in our upbringing that influences how we view our relationships. There's a lot of judgments that we make about ourselves that are based on teachings from our parents and teachings from, specifically the churches, synagogues, temples, things of that nature, that do very much influence our spiritual paths. And what I'm seeing here is that we are moving towards the holidays. There's going to be a lot more family, a lot more traditions. All right? Tradition is religion for a lot of people. Tradition brings us all together for Thanksgiving. That is what we're actually talking. I mean, let's just be very specific on the holiday we're talking about. At least in the United States, we have Thanksgiving. And so for this period of time, a lot of times people are actually seeing these soul family members that they're working on this exercise with, because not all exercises have specifically to do with our love life. However, all of these relationships influence how we have our heart open to love. All right? So this particular week is going to ask us to take a look at how our love life is influenced by our upbringing, by our beliefs about what relationships should be, shouldn't be. And again, This gives us the options card. This is showing contrast. All right, let's go ahead and look at how this reunion of souls focus will affect us from an abundance standpoint. And I always like to remind everybody that abundance appears in so many different ways besides money. It is all of your, all of the flow that comes to you, that is the universe delivering up for you that which is, you know, beneficial for you. So let's talk about that quickly and find out how this has to do with, whoops, these cards are kind of bigger for some reason, just a tiny bit bigger than the other cards. All right, so we're going to look at how does the work and focus on our soul connections, you know, whether they're, no matter how they are, whether it's relationships or even family members, how this is going to affect our financial and abundance outlooks. So we're going to go ahead and wait for the first card to flip. The first card that comes out that I see. Yep, that one wanted to flip. You know what? I'm going to take it because it's insistent. It's insistent. It's saying, I want to be seen. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at it. Okay. So what this work is doing is it's actually, you know, I'm not even reading the card. I'm just looking at it. And it's actually, I want to say, clearing a self-esteem piece that allows us to be up for moving forward, either financially or with responsibility or power within our career. So I do believe that a lot of times things that hold us back in our career are often all of the energies associated around relationships that distract us from putting all of our energy and, you know, our intentions into our work. Our creative expression is what I like to call it. So when we get more at peace with our relationships, when we get more at peace with how we take the relationships that come before us, how forgiving we can be of the situations, how much we can let go, that really does affect our abundance. And it affects our career. It affects our ability to really focus on the things that matter, the things that keep our energy flowing in the right direction. And it takes a great deal of trust to be able to do that. You know, I trust that these relationships are what they're for, so therefore I can let go. I know that everything I'm being shown is being shown so that I can see the options that are available to me, that I can create what I prefer, and I trust in that. I take time so that I get myself in that frame of mind where I'm in ability, you know, I'm in the ability to trust what I'm being guided to do or say or feel in any situation. And I'm acknowledging that there's some patterns that might need to be broken. I'm acknowledging that there might be things that need to be released or let go of that are part of my upbringing. And what that means is now I will read this card. Congratulations, an increase in your abundance flow awaits you. This is a result of your positive focus. Thank you, Katumi. Focus. And a willingness to take action based on your divine guidance. You cannot get to your divine guidance unless you're really tuned in. Esther Hicks would say what? Tuned in, tapped in, turned on. You know, you're in the flow. You're in your vortex. So working on this particular focus will result in this kind of raise or promotion in terms of, you know, what you're actually going to experience. And when I say with a reading like this for 5 days is, this is a snapshot of this 5-day period. You may get this right away and take every single opportunity to acknowledge, and we're going to look at this again. I want to, before we finish up, we're going to look at that again, the guidance from that reading, all right? And we're going to bring that forward with us. But, you know, you may get this right away. And you may take this right away. Okay, I'm just going to go for a walk today, Monday, after dinner, and I'm going to, you know, and you may, within the first couple of days, experience, you know, oh, wow, I see some of my options that are available to me. And you may say, hey, I've really uncovered some of the blocks from my past that have stopped me from seeing this situation in a positive way, or helped me not to consider a certain option that I might have otherwise considered. And within a day or two, you might actually be in this place. So the flow of this is just, how does this impact your 5 days? And finally, what I'm going to do is take a look at, and these are actually one of my favorite decks, and I've used it more than probably any other deck that I have. So I always, yeah, and I'm not going to be able to shuffle this the way I like because they are really just a little too big. But these cards here are, you know, the message from the Ascended Masters that, you know, we're going to get a message as to what will help us. What does it help us to know in all of this? And so we're going to go ahead and let me just ask that again. Please deliver to us a message from the Ascended Masters that is in keeping with this 5 days for all the people that are watching. All right. Let's see what we are delivered up here. First card, please. Yeah, I really do love the Ascended Master cards. It was the first Oracle deck that I had, and it always gave me just such wisdom. Probably, you know, any of you that have seen any of the live readings that I've done, pulled a card for people. I please love this deck. It's a great deck. Oh, that one just flew right out, didn't it? Just throw that one across the table. It's the Positive Change card. So this is really like an outcome card to all of this. We are going to see some very big positive changes over the work that we've done. All right? I mean, we would think that that's logical. If you've been on this path long enough, you know that when you really focus on something and you really give it your attention, that you're going to see some positive change come of it. So that's a really good message from Parvati. All right, so let me just see if there's anything else. I know I did want to go back, and I want to once again look at, I'm going to do this each reading so that we can all remember as we move out of this reading and we move into the energies of Monday through Friday, the agreements that we come to make. And this is, I'm going to paraphrase. I really prefer to do that once I've kind of gotten information. Paraphrase and see what comes to me. All right. So we are looking at people who have come into our lives for a particular reason, and they are catalysts for needed change. Sometimes, if they're soulmate relationships, they come in just to share joy with us at a particular time in our life. And a lot of times it's to help us get through some of the catalytic changes, right, that we're going through with some of the deeper connections, like a twin flame or twin soul. So we also have our soulmate relationships that come in, and then they come in to teach us specific lessons. So some of our experiences are extremely challenging, and those are the ones that create the need for us to identify our blocks to love. We need to identify our pain, and we need to let those things go. That can happen with any kind of a loving relationship, including your family members. So during this period of time, we are actually being asked, and I find this is really interesting being here at Thanksgiving, we are being asked to look into those relationships and cherish them and be grateful for them, no matter what they bring. Because what they are bringing is contrast, and the contrast will give us, you know, different options that are available to us. And once we get in alignment with what it is we prefer, a lot of times that is going to point us in the direction of, why am I not getting what I prefer? There must be some things that need to be released in order for me to do that. How do I release? Well, I continue to connect with my inner nature in the beauty of nature. Nature is just you being projected outward, the beauty of you being projected outward. Connect with that, and then align yourself for the movement forward in you know, in change that comes forward. So we've got the change card, right? The change card here, positive change, and raise and promotion, which means moving forward on our path. So this is a significant week for relationships. It's a significant week for relationships. It's a significant week for, you know, family tradition and things of that nature. And I am getting, you know, just a little bit of a message here to spend this holiday season in as much of an alignment with what you really prefer energetically. We always have choices to sink or give into or fall into old patterns, because we've been hardwired by our DNA through our family line experience to do this, but it's not necessary. We can let go and release of those, and we can remain in control of our own vibrations. So I think we'll leave that reading there. My next reading is going to be, I will do it Friday night, and upload it Friday night so that it is available for Saturday and Sunday. I hope you enjoyed this new reading of mine. I'm looking forward to doing this on a regular basis. So if you have any questions, please do comment below. I also have a link that if you are interested in having one of these readings done for just you, for your, I call this like a snapshot. It is an oracle outlook. I can do these pretty quickly. I did this reading actually for myself on 11/11/11, and I did my reading in 11 minutes. So it is a reading that I can do rather quickly. So if it's something you're interested in, I will have a link in the description below that you can order your own reading. And in the meantime, I'm going to continue to provide this for you all, and I really hope that you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a very blessed week. And oh, before I sign off, I do want to also mention that in the link, I do have a link to a workshop. It's a twin flame workshop and other sacred partners. We're going to be looking at the twin flame connection and beyond. It's a new paradigm shift that we're seeing in this community, and this is going to be with my dear soul tribe. We've got Angie and Rob from Twinfinity, Marla Kelly from Twinstrology, Dio Veselinoff, and he has a group called I Am Twin Flame on Facebook, and is an astrologer, as well as Kelly McKinstry, who has her own page called Encompass Yourself. So I'm also going to put a link to this. We're offering a workshop. It's December 9th from 1 until 5 o'clock. It's a 4-hour online workshop. It will be interactive in that you will be able to ask questions. We're going to be covering a variety of different subjects. Each one of us is going to take a topic, and then we're going to do Q&A. It's recorded, so if you order it, even if you can't be there that day, you will have access to it. And we're really excited about this. This is like the Twin Flame Together workshops that we have done in Banff, we've done in Chicago, Boston, and then some of us have done, you know, workshops Atlanta, New England, and now I think Dio's most recent was in Italy. So for people who have been unable to attend our workshops in person, we're making this a really affordable way for you to get the benefit of working with us as a collaborative effort. And the workshop is $47. So for, you know, getting to interact with all of us, we think that that's, you know, pretty reasonable, and we're really doing this to make it available for more people. We're still gonna do our live in-person workshops, a couple of them next year, I'm sure, but this is a way that we can help on a bigger scale in general. So if you feel called to attend that, please go to the link below and go ahead and order your seat. So I am Debbie DuBois. You can always book sessions with me at TrueSacredUnion.com. I have a Facebook group called True Sacred Union. I have a Facebook group called Raising Vibrational Frequencies, and I have a Facebook page called True Sacred Union. I also have a YouTube channel called True Sacred Union. So I'm pretty much True Sacred Union everything. Thank you so much for taking time to listen, and I look forward to the next reading on Friday night. Thank you, and namaste.